Hi everyone, my name is Nazim with NazimConsulting.com, and today I'm sitting down with a client, Daniel Harvey from Passion.io. Dan and I, we've been working together for the last 2 years or so, and today I just wanted to invite him to talk a little bit about our work at Passion.io, the great successes we've had. So Dan, welcome and thanks for getting on this call.
You got it. Thank you.
Awesome. So then we started working about 2 years ago, $5 million down the line, probably a couple mil more coming with extensions and increased customer LTV. We've done great work. Yeah, we've had a lot of ups and downs and a lot of successes. How does it feel after all?
Feels really good. When we first started working together, our business was just like a low ticket business, right? And we saw, okay, there's an opportunity to do something high ticket, increase the customer lifetime value. And of course, the great thing about doing that is that it's pretty much all margin, right? Because you have no ad spend against it. It's all, expansion revenue, upselling people. And so, outside of like cost of sales and cost of delivery, so outside of those things, it's all margin, and it's made our business a lot more profitable, which takes the pressure off, gives us more money that we can reinvest in growth, and feels pretty good.
Yeah, so you're right. Essentially, Passion.io is basically a platform that allows coaches, creators, content creators to basically create their own app. And I don't mean a Kajabi or a Thinkific where people log into their app. I mean people actually going onto App Store and downloading Stacy's yoga app with her logo on it, right? So product is very unique. It's amazing, and you guys have been at it way ahead of the curve since like what 7-8 years ago, right? But obviously, again, I'm just basically repeating what you said with a bit more context. When people sign up, they used to be able to just to sign up on a self-serve basis, right? Basically licensing the software from you in order to build it themselves. But then when I saw your website, I was like, there's no way. And I remember on the website, you guys were boasting with 8,000 active creators. And I was thinking, there's no way that there isn't at least like 200-300 people willing to shell out big bucks, for you to do it for them. And it's kind of like a nice segue into how we met. Do you remember?
Yes, I do. And in fact, when I knew we'd be talking, I pulled up the first ever email. So let me show you. Second. So this is a cold email, right? Which is amazing because like every business owner, I get like 100 of these every fucking day, right? And so Dan and Matt, can I show you how to make an extra 1 million? I mean, the subject line is amazing as it is, right? And then there was a personal video, and then it's like a case study of last client. Like, this is a strong outreach, very short. It's an extra $1 million. It's like, okay, what is this sort of thing? And then I hit play, and personal video about essentially how to like create this high ticket product and upsell people and everything. And it came at a really good time. So it was a good outreach, and it came at a good time because, no, I'll go back so I can see you again. It came at a good time because we were just starting to think about doing this, right? So we were just in the planning phases of like, what could the product look like? How can we build out the team, et cetera, et cetera. And so then here's someone saying they've got experience doing it. I thought, let's jump on a call.
Awesome. And it's funny because I'm a consultant, so I prospect all the time. And I send this to companies of various sizes and, this, that, and the other. And you guys were one of the bigger ones, right? You guys are valued at tens of millions of dollars. And you were the person who replied the quickest. And we ended up having a call the day after, literally. So that's amazing. Yeah, I appreciate that. So, we talked about work, right? I just wonder, because I remember when I got on a call with you, you guys were planning something, right? But why is it that after all, at the end, you just pretty much, you guys said, hey, why don't you do it for us? What was the reason?
Well, I heard a good quote on this. It's like at a certain size of business, it's you don't really look for how to solve problems, you look for who can solve problems, right? And so, you know, at the point when you came on board a couple of years ago, we were probably already like 70 people in the team or whatever. And so like running this sort of thing myself would have just been like a whole big extra thing to add to my plate. And also I didn't really have experience doing it, right? So instead of trying to figure it out myself, you know, finding someone who would know how to do it would be great. And then specifically, you know, I haven't had great experiences with agencies and consultants in the past, because I think what quite often happens is the best you get from them is quite often in the prospecting or sales process, because of course, before you agree to sign up with them is when they are most incentivized to show you their best colors and to be most responsive and to be most helpful, etc. And so I don't, you know, I don't often, we tend to do a lot of things internally, but the reason why we decided to work with you was in that sales process, you were really structured, you were really consistent. You weren't like pushy to get things like over the line or whatever. And the other thing, I don't know if you remember, but we spoke to one of your previous clients, a guy called Thorsten. You introduced us, I spoke to him, and, you know, I do my due diligence, and he was, you know, very positive. He told me, you know, your strengths, weaknesses, like the whole thing. And it just, you know, it made sense. I would say it was still probably a bit of a risk in the beginning to say, let's do it. Like, I wouldn't say I was 100% convinced yet, but like it was good enough that it was worth trying. And then the cool thing with you, which is honestly really unique in the whole consulting space, is that after you signed the deal and we, you know, we paid, like the work quality and the commitment and like the dedication and the results and all of those things were like minimum what you'd promised, and sometimes more. Most of the time it's the opposite, right? Most of the time you never get as good as that sales process. It's always downhill from there. But for you, consistently, it was like at least the level of commitment that you'd promised, if not more.
Yeah, it's funny because sometimes I hear people talk about signing a new client and they're very happy. For me, it's the opposite. I get nervous and I get scared and I get very worked up about it, because at the end of the day, a payment is just a couple of digits in your bank account. You know, it's not there's a slight a minute long rush of euphoria about that when you see the digits change, but then from then on, okay, pressure's on you, right? So there's a minute long euphoria, then changed with like, I don't know, 2 years of pressure and performing, and yeah, because you're the man now. Or for the ladies watching, you're the woman now. You know, whatever. Just the pressure is on, the game is on, and you have to perform and perform with it. Obviously, not without our ups and downs. Speaking of which, what would you say? Obviously, we did a lot of things great, right? Maybe we talk about that for a second. From my perspective, I absolutely adored the audience that you guys have built, and it's also so very rare to come by that you had so much trust with your existing clients. And obviously, having been inside of the company for over 2 years, it's not a surprise at all. Yes, it's probably the most ethical, caring team and company ethics I've seen, and the way you also approach the customers with so much love. And you know, you yourself, you're a very heartfelt guy. Matthias is awesome as well, so it's not a surprise at all. But that's what basically helped us in the sales process so much. And obviously, we weren't just you know basically using up that trust. We wanted to roll out a product which would strengthen that trust even more, and that's what happened with Passion Plus. The only regret I probably have on my end is that we didn't start charging a bit more money for it, because in hindsight, the value that people got from it was absolutely immense. I remember even doing mystery calls with other companies providing a similar service, and not even single one came close to basically to to how much services, how much care that we offered for a lower price. So that would be kind of like the only little regret. But then again, hey, great. It's a great win for clients, right? They got a great service for a bit cheaper. So also happy about that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I appreciate you saying that about the customers and the culture at the company and everything. I think that's one of the reasons why it worked also well with you and the team, because, you know, you're very reflective, you're very non-political. So, you know, something I really appreciate about you is that you never tried to position anything as like, you know, that's another thing consultants do all the time, right? They're always trying to justify themselves or their place or their results, and they're always positioning things. And you spend half your time trying to wade through the bullshit to understand what's actually going on. With you, it's the opposite. It's like everything is very transparent. If you screw up, you own it and you put it on the table. And that's the culture that we've tried to build at Passion. Not every company is like that, but that's how it is for us. And you fit into that perfectly. And what goes along with that you also did really well is if there's ever feedback, like whatever it is, you're really good at, I mean, you're non-defensive, you take on the feedback and then you implement the feedback if it's something that, you know, makes sense. And that's, again, it's quite rare because, you know, there's ego involved, right? And especially if you're a consultant and you're coming in as the expert, like I know a lot of people, they have their guard up. And again, because you were reflected, you would take that feedback. That meant that you also, not only did you come in and add a lot of value, but you also grew, I would say, over those 2 years that you were with us, massively, and contributed more value over time because you're always like, you know, you're always looking to improve, which is like, for me, an amazing skill. It's something I think every consultant should try and do. But I think it's hard because, like I said, they come in as the expert, and so they want to be perceived as like having all the answers to everything all the time. But actually, I think it's much stronger to be like, okay, you know, I screwed up here. I'm going to learn. Next time we do it better, and over time things improve.
100% I grew. Boy, did I grow. 100%. And I grew because of you guys and the team. Every single person to the last bit is and I don't want to, it's not a thing to kiss ass, right? It really is not, right? Because I've met with you guys personally. We've spent time one-on-one. I've spent time with people one-on-one. Literally, I was speaking with Ethan like literally 2 days ago, just on a WhatsApp call, right? I made friends, hopefully lifelong friends, with many people at the company. So that says a lot. A positive working environment goes a long way. So that's great. Now, in retrospective, a little bit, what do you think you wish we did different? Just, you know, if you viewers are watching in retrospective, kind of like looking at our journey, for them to know, to keep in mind, what do you think we could have done differently to do better?
I mean, I think you mentioned one earlier, which is about pricing. Maybe we could have increased the pricing sooner, which would have, you know, obviously improved margins and scalability and all those things. I think that's something that is a challenge in our culture, and maybe you could have been more of a counterbalance to that, is like, because we are this culture where we want to really like support the team and set them up for success and all these things. I would say that if someone's not performing, we probably tend to give them probably too much time. And then ultimately, if they do leave the team, in retrospect, they probably left too late. And I think that, yeah, that's something that we could have done better. There was a few people where we probably gave them a bit longer. Like, we probably knew the writing was on the wall. I mean, if anyone's watching this and knows about building a sales team, what you'll know is that there is turnover naturally in a sales team, right? Like, it's a difficult job. Number one, being a sales rep, you got to have a good fit with the offer, with the audience, and with the product and whatever. And sometimes people just don't get the results, and it's often a high part of your paycheck is commission. So if you're not hitting your numbers, you also make sense to move on. So sometimes people moved on too late, I would say, and we could have focused more on bringing in A players rather than like spending our time working to try and help the B players become A players. Yeah, what else? I mean, we did really well with monetizing our paying customers, right? Like we talked about, expanding our lower ticket customers into the higher ticket customers. The challenge with that is you reach a certain kind of limit, because you've got like your total addressable market, let's say, is your paying customers, and you get new ones every month, but it's not infinite, right? So there's a limited pool that you can actually upsell to. Something that we haven't yet cracked, which, you know, again, I don't know if I would say I would do it differently, but let's say like something that's still open is like, how do we monetize our non-customers? Like all of our leads that we generate for the low ticket stuff that didn't buy that low ticket stuff, is there actually an opportunity there to sell into that audience? Because then you've got a lot, you know, many more leads, and therefore a higher potential revenue number. So they would be three things, you know, I wouldn't even say that I would do differently, but maybe more like, how can we level up further?
Yeah, and sky's the limit, and you have to be creative when it comes to marketing and sales. We did some things very well, right? Namely, one of the last initiatives that we have implemented quite successfully is the live webinar model, right? Shout out to Raf Garay for introducing that, if you're watching this, Raf. But that was amazing, right? And we sort of automated by now. And what we used to do is send a lot of emails, but then we realized, hey, we can actually put on free trainings where people get actual real value, not just, you know, woo hoo woo ha, kind of like feel good sort of webinar, but actual webinars as almost as if it was a workshop that they paid for, with exercises, real questions, basically letting people raise their hand and ask their questions. And we realized that by engaging people so much, we won in the long run, right? Because you could think that, hey, you know, we're basically wasting our resources answering people's questions for free, but that would be a very stupid way to think about it, because essentially what you're doing is you're showing your knowledge, you're showing your expertise, you're giving good free will to people, but out of those, let's say 100, there'll be 20, 25 with the financial resources that are so impressive they're willing to give it a shot. So that was like one of the things that I remember we implemented this May, June, July that worked really well.
Yeah, and that's continuing to work really well now. I totally agree. Basically, you're giving so much value for free that they think, wow, if I get this much value for free, you know, what will I get when I pay, right? And so we're really like not holding anything back. We're bringing in amazing speakers and adding a huge amount of value, and really just focusing on the value and just trusting that then when you put like an opportunity in front of people, that people will take it. And like, so far it's working pretty well.
Awesome. Fantastic. Well, I guess the last question, Dan, would be, what kind of impact on the company level has launching Ultimate Plus, Passion Plus now? Sorry, I'm still thinking 2 years ago. Passion Plus, old baby. What kind of impact has it done on finances, and not just finances, because money is not just money. Money is opportunity to test, to try new things. How's that been?
Well, what we're doing at Passion, we're building a software company, and we want to build the Shopify for creators, right? Which is a pretty big mission, meaning we want to give creators and coaches the ability, we want to democratize the ability to run your knowledge business online, to have your own mobile app, your own community, your own courses. And the whole thing comes from the mission of helping people earn money doing what they love. So people have passions, they have knowledge, they have life experience, they have skills, they have hobbies. And we live in an era with the passion economy where you can earn money from that. We don't all need to have 9 to 5s doing things we hate so that we can spend the few hours we have outside of work doing things we love. We can earn money doing what we love. And we can do that in a way that where you have location independence, you can live where you want, time independence, you don't have to work at set hours. And ultimately, if you do it right, financial independence, because you can build up, instead of trading time for money, you're now trading product for money. And you can you can earn money without, you know, being on the clock, sort of thing. So the reason I share the whole like mission is because you know, money is like oxygen for your business. Money gives you the ability to hire developers, designers, product managers, marketers, sales reps, customer support agents. Like, building this business and building it right is very capital intensive, and we don't have, you know, 100 million of VC money to just burn through to build this thing. We need to for the most part finance it from making money as a business, like the the old way of doing it, right? So it's, you know, it's not like, for me at least, it's not like, hey, Nazim helped me buy my 4th Ferrari or whatever. It's like, Nazim helped me build this company that I'm very proud of, the impact we're having. I'm very proud of the team and the culture we've been able to create, and also the asset that we're building ultimately as founders and as a team for the future. So it's a huge contribution. That whole high ticket piece of it is, you know, a big part of our revenue now, and a big part of that fuel for growth that we have.
That's awesome. And for the parting words, obviously I'm going to be showing this video on social media and to whoever you know, needs the last conviction to kind of like sway them over the fence and give our project a shot. What would you tell those people?
I'd say if you've worked with agencies and consultants before, then forget those experiences, because this will probably be quite different. You'll get someone that feels more like part of your team than someone coming in giving like clever advice. Advice is actually easy. Like, everyone can watch a few YouTube videos and say some smart words, but what you'll get with you, Nazim, is real action, real commitment, without the politics and the BS around it, and then just a real drive for results, and yeah, a real humility along the way. So I personally also really enjoyed working together. We've become friends. So yeah, I mean, take it from someone who doesn't like, for the most part, consultants, and gets about 1 million outbound emails. And you know, this is one of the few ones that I'm glad I received, and I'm glad I responded to.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity, Dan. I very thoroughly enjoyed working with Passion, and I still have the card from the Passion Live event pinned on my shelf, and it'll remain there for a very long time. And
I think I've got mine like here underneath some books.
Yeah.
I can't see. Oh no. Okay. Anyway, it's there somewhere.
That's at my house. I'm at the office now. So, yeah. But a beautiful experience with amazing people, but also results oriented, not just feel good, you know. So thanks again for doing this, and your beautiful day. And whoever wants to check out Passion, very easy. Go to passion.io. These guys are revolutionizing the industry. So you'll be hearing more from them in the next few years. Thank you.